All right, Tuesday the 25th, we have lower body. We have 2 parts. We have 5, 6, or 7 rounds. Your choice: weighted stationary lateral lunges, weighted bridges, single leg deadlifts, Bulgarian split squats, and then donkey kicks to hydrant. So weighted stationary lateral lunges. Ooh, do you hear all that cracking? Weighted bridges. Okay. Single leg deadlifts. I have my running shoes on, and you can totally tell versus when you have a weightlifting shoe on. It's a lot less stable. Bulgarian split squats. I'll show you with my weight. Move my chair. Hopefully my chair loves me and doesn't try to kill me. And donkey kick to hydrant. Kick, hydrant. 1, kick, hydrant. 2, kick, hydrant. 3. Okay, weighted stationary lateral. So normally when we do a lateral, we step out to the side into our lateral and then we switch legs. This time we're just starting out. So you're gonna get a really wide stance with your feet. Your toes should be forward, slightly diagonal but not, it shouldn't be like a sumo squat style. And you're going to sink all the way down to one side. You can hold the weight however you want. You can hold it in front of you, you can hold it a long way, you can hold it down. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes I just like cradle it or like hold it like in a weird way where I'm not really holding it with my hands. But anyways, so hold it however you want. You're gonna sink all the way down to one side so all the weight shifts. There's no weight on this foot. And then I'm gonna up and then hit the other side. Up, hit the other side, up, hit the other side, okay? So you just keep switching back and forth. And remember, you're gonna feel that kind of on the inside pull. Our weighted bridges, we might have done these or we might have done elevated, I forget, but we definitely did bridges of some kind. So you're gonna be on the ground. What I always do is I tuck the weight in the space where my legs meet my torso and I just kind of hold them. I feel like I remember saying this, so I think we might have done these in a different week because I remember saying I butt the palm up against the top of the weight, so I don't really have to hold it with my grip. I'm just kind of keeping it in place. And then you're gonna go, I think we might have done pause ones maybe, I don't know. You're gonna lift up your butt and your hips, and then you're gonna return. Lift, return, lift, return. So you probably can go, not heavy, because if the dumbbells are like, you know, real metal dumbbells and they're sitting in this spot, it might actually kind of hurt. But you can go, you know, as much as you can. You can even add resistance bands around like your ankles or like your knees, which will make it harder too. And then when I have the weight, I always hold it a little bit longer than if I didn't. So I kind of hold, squeeze, down, up, squeeze, down, okay? And then single leg deadlifts. So as I was saying, if you don't know the difference, your running shoe is meant to be like bouncy and meant for like your feet to kind of shift different angles and everything. It's meant to give you oomph when you're running. Your weightlifting shoe is gonna be flat, okay? So it's gonna be that's why if you ever see like people working out in like Chuck Taylors or Vans or like shoes that you're like, that's not like a gym shoe, it's because it's so flat. So if somebody's doing like a leg day, particularly with like heavy squats and other things like that, they want a really flat shoe because it helps keep your balance versus a shoe that's got all kind of grip on the bottom and it's maybe got like a higher arch. It's harder to keep to the floor. So if you were wondering why I said that, that's why I said that. Or if you don't know the difference and you think like every active shoe is just like a gym shoe, it's not. So you should technically have a running shoe and then a weightlifting shoe, or they might call it a cross training shoe. So if you're not sure, if you Google like Metcon Nike shoes, you'll see they're super, super flat. That's a really popular one. I don't like those, but a lot of people do. So single leg dead. So I've talked about these hundreds of times. Looks like this. So now we're doing single leg. So all that means is you're taking one leg off the ground, same exact motion. Your butt and your hips are gonna go back to the wall, your knees slightly bent. It's gonna create your back to fold down, hit that mid shin area, return. So you're not really doing anything with this leg. You're just kind of letting it follow what your body naturally does. So it's going to come up, but you're not like lifting it up per se. And if you need balance, you're just going to lightly grab onto something close to you. It's not going to take away at all from the exercise. So if you do need to hold on, that's totally fine because all the weight is still on this one leg. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this leg do all the work. So don't worry if you're like, oh my God, I have to hold on, I can't do this. It's not going to, I mean, it'll make your balance easier, but it's not going to necessarily make the exercise any easier. And then I'll Bulgarian split squat. So I actually do these on my bench when I do them, but I know that not everybody has a bench. So I'm going to show you on the chair. So ideally, you want to make sure that your chair is up against a wall. I don't feel like moving my camera all around in the tripod, so I'm going to just not do it up against the wall. So you're going to have it up against the wall because you are putting all of your weight on it. So it needs to be really steady. So what you're going to do, and you've probably seen these a lot, they're getting really popular because all everybody cares about is making their butt bigger. So people are doing these. So I don't typically do them in my program because I feel like they can be kind of hard to explain. Or you might not have the proper height, and that can make a big difference. But every once in a while I throw it in there, and you can try it. If it's not working out at all, you can do something like lunges instead. But I figure I'll just throw it in there. So one of your feet is going to go on the chair, okay? So some people like to go up on their toe. Some people have it flat. It kind of depends, I think, number one, on how good you are at it, and number two, how it feels. So if you have it flat and every time you go down and up, it's just hurt. Like I've had it sometimes where it literally hurts my foot. Sometimes I think it depends on the surface. You can't do it like that. It's gonna bother you. So then you might wanna go up on your toe. Going up on your toe also helps you dig. So when you go down, your toe is digging into that surface, which gives you better balance than if it's just laying flat because it can kind of move and roll. So that is something that's gonna be just your preference. You're gonna figure it out. And then your other leg is obviously on the ground. And now you'll see if you've seen TikTok and those other things that people are going to explain 100 different ways. There's really no wrong way to do it, okay? As long as you are going down and up, your legs are in good position and your upper body is not hunching, you can't do it wrong. But depending on kind of the movement or the ratio of where your leg is to the chair, you're going to either target your butt more or your quads more, which is the front of your leg. So when I do it, just think about being comfortable versus where am I targeting? Because you can't, like I said, you can't really do it wrong. So I've seen it explained if you're going more up and down, you're targeting your quad. If you are going more diagonal, you're targeting more of your butt. So I don't know if you could tell by that visual. One of them, your foot's kind of closer. You're going more straight up and down. One of them, you're a little farther apart. You're kind of moving at a diagonal down and back kind of this way versus up and down. I try not to think about that too much. I just try again to find a comfortable position. And once I find it, you might have to move around a few times. Once you find it, you just go with it. So right there feels good for me. I'm just gonna go with it. I don't really care which style I'm doing. I'm just gonna do what feels best. So you can do it with no weight. If you get more comfortable, you can hold a dumbbell in each hand. But I highly suggest, like I just started doing these again. I didn't do them for a while. I started with no weight because I really wanted to get the form down. And these are ones that get really uncomfortable. So you have to find how you are comfortable doing it, I think, before you make it more difficult. And then after you do your round, you're gonna move on to part 2, which is donkey kick to hydrant per leg. So it's pretty self-explanatory. So you're gonna do your donkey kick, lift it out to your hydrant, 1, donkey kick, hydrant 2, donkey kick, hydrant 3, kick, hydrant 4. I like doing this combo because it targets 2 different areas of your butt. The donkey kick is gonna get like the top middle, the hydrant is gonna get the side. So I like to put them together because I feel like you feel it more, but you also cover more of your butt. So, all right, that is Tuesday the 25th.